Let me, yes. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. And we are in the last section of chapter 14, Three Modes of Material Nature. Today we are going to complete. We had a little gap because of the festivals, but now we are back and we will continue from where we had left. So, in this chapter, Krishna has actually very nicely explained about the three modes of material nature, and these are some very fundamental energies which are actually controlling all of us. We know it or we don't know it, but then the sattva, rajas, and tamas are constantly, day in and out, are actually influencing us without our knowledge. So at least now we should become aware that how these things are operating, and also when we know a little bit of it, we know why someone is acting the way he is acting or she is acting, and we can try to understand them better. Because if we understand these three modes, uh, then actually it helps us to understand ourselves and also others in a better way, especially the people's behavior, because each one of us is influenced by these three modes, and these actually lead us to a certain action, and we know why a certain person is actually suffering or enjoying because of his own actions, right? So what are influencing our actions? These three modes. So Krishna has given some very nice answers until the previous verse number 20, but from now, he is going to share something more when Arjuna asks certain questions. So Arjuna is asking some question in today's session, and let's see what are those. But before that, let's chant the pranam mantras. It's all displayed, will be displayed on the screen. So kindly join your palms. Let's dedicate the session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and my beloved spiritual master. So let's chant these prayers together. नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So, in the previous verse, Krishna said, Gunanetan atityatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukhair vimukto mritamashnute. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. So, very interesting. Krishna is saying that if someone can transcend, and the interesting part is that we can transcend the three modes in this very lifetime. It's not that after death I have to experience. No, the experience can be right now as we are living in this body, we can actually transcend the three modes. And when we transcend, what happens? Krishna is saying that he becomes free from the birth, old age, disease, and distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. So, nectar is mostly often associated with eternity. Amrita. Amrita means that once you drink it, then you will be eternal forever. And when you have that kind of experience that you are going to live forever, then there's no fear, because ultimately the fear is about death. And when you drink Amrita, then you have an experience of no death. So that's why there is no fear. There is no fear. Then you enjoy your life, right? So when Krishna said this, now Arjuna is curious because he's interested also that how can I attain this particular state of existence that I can enjoy all the time. So this is what Arjuna is asking. So Archutanji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant this particular verse. Arjuna uvacha
अर्जुन उवाच
कैर्लिङ्गैस्त्रिन् गुणानेतान्
कैर्लिङ्गै स्त्रीन् गुणानेतान्
अतितो भवति प्रभो
अतितो भवति प्रभो
किम् आचारः कथं चैतांस्
किम् आचार कथं चैतां
त्रिन् गुणान् अतिवर्तते.
त्रीन् गुणामतिवर्तते
Once again, Arjuna uvacha
अर्जुन उवाच
कैर्लिङ्गैस्त्रिन् गुणानेतान्
कैर्लिङ्गे स्त्रीन् गुणानेतान्
अतितो भवति प्रभो
अतितो भवति प्रभो
किम् आचारः कथं चैतांस्
किम् आचार कथं चैतां
त्रिङ्गुणानतिवर्तते.
त्रीन् गुणानतिवर्तते
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the modes of nature? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So here very nicely, Arjuna is asking three questions actually. He's asking that what are the symptoms of a person who is transcendental. When we have a person who is diseased, we get to know, oh, this person is having a certain fever or is having a certain disease. Based on the symptoms the doctor sees, he can understand. And when a person is behaving mad, then we know that, oh, this person is out of his mind, and he has instability in his brain, right? So because people, based on their behavior, we understand that there are certain symptoms through which we understand that this person is affected by certain things. So Arjuna is here interested in knowing that what are the symptoms of a person who has transcended. Number one. Number two, the question is, how does he behave? So he wants to know, because Arjuna is asking this for himself, because I also want to know, if I transcend, then how do I behave? Right? And then he's also asking the third question, how does he transcend the modes of nature? Basically, he's asking, what is the process through which I can also attain that state of transcendence? So there are symptoms, then there is a behavior, and then there is the process. So Arjuna is asking all these things to Krishna. Oh, please explain to me all these things so that I can actually benefit and I can also attain the same thing. Because Krishna has said in the previous verse that if you transcend, then what is the problem? What's the thing? That you are actually going to get rid of all the problems of this body, and then you're going to enjoy your life in this very lifetime. And it makes sense also for Arjuna, because you just see, he was in a very distressed condition just before the Bhagavad Gita began. He was totally confused and he was not in a good state of mind. So when somebody is offering him, or anybody, when somebody offers us also some sort of enjoyment when we are in distressed condition, then we will be more interested to know about it. So there is a similar situation like that now before Arjuna. So he's very interested and curious to know, oh, Krishna, please let me know what is this, right? So now Krishna is going to explain all the wonderful symptoms and process, and also the behavior of such a transcendent person. Okay, so Hinamataji, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the next verse. Actually, not next verse. There are a series of verses from 22 to 25. So let's chant all of that together. And we also have Lakshmi Mataji joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining on YouTube. All those who have joined on YouTube, you can say Hare Krishna. So let's chant the next verse. That is verse number 22. Uh, Very interesting, and Krishna is further explaining about the transcendent behavior of a person. Okay, Sri Bhagavan Vacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Prakasham cha pravartim cha
प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च
Oham eva cha Pandava
मोहम् एव च पाण्डवा
Tveshti sampravartani
न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवर्तानि
Nivritani kankshati.
न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति
Let's chant the next verse. Udasina vadasino
उदासीन वदासीनो
गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते
गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते
गुणा वर्तन्त इत्येवम्
गुणा वर्तन्त इत्येवम्
योऽवतिष्ठति नेङ्गति.
योऽवतिष्ठति निङ्गति
Wonderful. Next. Samadukka sukha sवस्थः
समदुःखा सुखस्वस्था
समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः
समलोष्टास्मकाश्चन
तुल्यप्रिया प्रियो धीरः
तुल्यप्रिया प्रियो धीरस्
निन्दात्मसंस्तुतिः.
तुल्यनिन्दात्मसंस्तुतिः
25th. मानापमानयोस्तुल्य
मानापमानयोस्तुल्यस्
तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः
तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयो
सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी
सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी
गुणातीतः स उच्यते.
गुणातीतः स उच्यते
Wonderful. Please read the translation by yourself.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So you see, actually, this is very interesting for all of us because see, we all want to enjoy life. It is the very fundamental need of each one of us. We all want to enjoy life, and Krishna is exactly stating that now how we can all enjoy life, and he's sharing some very interesting secrets. So that's why when we actually dive deeper into Bhagavad Gita, it actually makes us understand ourselves better because then when we krishna gives all this explanation, we know that how we actually behave in certain situations of life, and when we behave or act in a certain way, it becomes very clear to us, oh yes, because I acted in a certain way, this is what is happening to me, and yes, now I'm not supposed to act in that way, I'm supposed to act in some other way. So Krishna, when he explains all these things, it is for our benefit. See, now Krishna is now talking about transcendental, right? He's talking about transcending the sattva, rajas, and tamas. He's talking something very of very importance to us, right? So, what is this sattva, rajas, tamas? See, each one and every action that we perform, is associated with either sattva, either rajas or tamas. Right? All our actions are somewhere related to these. And sometimes a person is predominated by sattva, sometimes by rajoguna, and sometimes by tamoguna. Sometimes people's lives are gone into this only. They are uh, always sattva, some people are in rajas, and some people are in tamas. It's like that. So, what is sattva? Sattva means it's like fire. Sattva guna is like fire. What does fire do? You see, any time when you light fire, there is a flame. So you take a matchbox and matchstick and then light, or you take a lighter. Anything, anytime, even on a stove, when you actually light the fire, what happens is the fire actually moves upwards. Have you seen any fire that goes downwards? Fire is always that gives us light, and also it is udvagachanti. It actually always goes upwards. So sattva guna is what? Sattva guna, it illuminates, it gives light, and also takes our consciousness upwards. It's like fire. So sattva guna is like fire. We should know this. And you see, what does the smoke do? Rajoguna is like smoke. The smoke is, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. It really depends on where the air is pushing it, right? Sometimes it goes up and down. The smoke is not stable, right? Rajoguna people are like that. Rajoguna people, they sometimes are happy, sometimes are distressed. They get the result of their action, they're very happy. They don't get the result of their action, they're very distressed. Why does the smoke come, first of all? The smoke comes when there is a water content in the wood, right? When fire is burning, blazing fire, then there is fire, there is no much smoke. But when there is a little water content in the wood, then there is smoke. If you see, even in the petroleum products, if you see, diesel gives lot of smoke. Kerosene gives lot of smoke. You distill it, refine it a little bit. Petrol, it is little less smoke here. The smoke is not really visible. Then you go to the next level, spirit. You refine it, distill it nicely. The petrol, the high spirit. Then you see what happens. There is hardly any smoke there. So as you refine, the water content reduces. There is less smoke. Rajoguna also can actually be corrected and can become no smoke, and it can actually give urdhvagachati. Sattva can be attained. But the nature of the Rajoguna itself is like smoke, sometimes up and sometimes down. It is like that. And Tamoguna, adogachandi. Tamoguna is like wood, it covers. It really doesn't make you see what is light, what is smoke, nothing. When a hard wood is present, it covers all the things which are behind it, right? But in smoke, what happens when smoke is there? You don't know what is actually, you cannot make out whether it is a rope or a snake, right? Unclear consciousness is Rajoguna. Clear consciousness means Sattva light, right? So Sattva is like light, Rajoguna like smoke, and Tamoguna is like the hard wood, dull matter, right? So now the question is, we have to transcend all of these, Krishna is saying. And how do we actually do that? Krishna is saying a person who actually transcends this, first thing is, Prabhupada says in the purport, that he has no envy. This one specific thing, envy, comes again and again. Nadveshti na kankshati. In 20th verse also you see, in the 12th chapter also, the 13th verse, it begins with saying that Nirvairaha, one who is not envious. This envy is very deep rooted in us. So that's why Krishna is bringing out this again and again. So a person who has actually transcended, Krishna is saying the symptom of such a person is there is no envy. Because Arjuna has asked, right, what are the symptoms? You will not see envy in such a person. If we are envious, that means we have still not transcended. It is for us to detect. Krishna is giving us the parameters to check whether we are really transcended or not. Right? So envy, and he does not hanker for anything. He's not that, oh, I want this, I want that. He doesn't run behind material things. Whatever comes on its own accord, he will accept it and be happy in that. He does his activities, he performs his actions, he does his duty, but he will never hanker for more and more material things. So, when this we are as a soul embodied in this material body, we should know that we are under the control of at least one of these modes, sattva, rajas, and tamas. In fact, we are having influence of all the three modes to different ratio and proportion, but we at any point of time are not free from this material consciousness because of these material modes. But then Krishna is giving hope, and he's also saying that it is possible when you learn how to be neutral to happiness and distress. And how that is possible when you engage, all of us, we engage in devotional service using this material body slowly transcends even sattva guna. Attending Bhagavad Gita class is actually urdhva gachanti, is increasing our sattva guna. And when this sattva guna increases more and more and more and more, by listening to Bhagavad Gita, by chanting, having prasadam, it increases at a certain point of time. It is possible that we can enter the realm of Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva means that state which is unaffected by the three modes. Amazing it is. This secret is not known to anybody. This is a secret of happiness, actually. Krishna is revealing us the secret of happiness that we need to transcend. Because in that state of Shuddha Sattva, you will know your true identity. Oh, I am a soul and I am a servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupahaya Nitya Krishna Das. I am the servant of Krishna. I have forgotten. I have forgotten that relationship with Krishna, but now in this state, I can understand. Oh, yes, I have a relationship with Krishna. We have come here, right? Why? And we have come here and we have forgotten that relationship with Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings very beautifully. Bhuliya tumare samsara achiya pehna navida vrita bhuliya tumare samsara achiya pehna navida vrita. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Bhuliya tumhare, I have forgotten you, O my Lord, and samsara ashi, I have come to this samsara. And coming here, what is happening to me? Ah, I am suffering so much. Pehe nana vrita. So many varieties of problems are coming here to my life. Let me get out of this. Right? So Krishna is giving us this secret now. Secret is be non-envious. Don't be envious of anything or anybody. Very important. And then slowly, by devotional service, when you engage yourself in devotional service, then you will, in this body, start seeing the wonderful qualities of devatas coming into. The wonderful qualities of devatas will manifest in us. It's not that it is not there. The soul has that. All the wonderful qualities are there, but it is dormant now. But when we do devotional service, all those beautiful qualities will start coming out one by one. And that's why people can't understand. Oh, this fellow, he was running in my own gully there. He was such a naughty fellow. And today you see, they can't see that change. They can't accept that change. How such a naughty person, a foolish person can become a saintly person like this. That's why there is a saying that Nadi Mula and Sadhu Mula should not be asked. That means uh, the origin of a river and the origin of a sadhu should not be actually asked. Because anybody can transform at any point of time. So, this is an opportunity for all of us to actually transform our heart. This is a chance given to Krishna, by Krishna to us that, yes, take this. Human form is already given to you. Now take advantage and transform your heart. Don't hanker for material things. Because whatever is due, you will get it anyways. It's not that somebody is going to snatch it from you. You will get it. Whatever is in your our quota, we will get it. Right? And then Arjuna also has that what is his behavior? So Krishna is saying here, and Prabhupada is also stating, the materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to the body. But a transcendentally situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. So many times people look forward for honor. They want to be appreciated. They are always looking for. Now, appreciation is a need. Doesn't mean that when somebody does something nice and we don't appreciate. Offering appreciation is very good, but hankering for appreciation is not good. When somebody does something good, you appreciate. When you appreciate, you are actually hitting your envy. Because when there is envy, then it's very difficult to actually appreciate someone when even when they do something good, right? So we should offer appreciation to others, but we should not hanker for appreciation and honor all of that, because then we will slowly develop pride, which is not good, right? So a person does not actually look out for honor, and he's not even disturbed by dishonor. When somebody disrespects him, sadhu is not really. Who is a sadhu? Sadhu doesn't mean one who is wearing saffron robes and no. Sadhu means sadhu in consciousness. What is your consciousness as a sadhu? Are you having the sadhu consciousness? That matters to Krishna. Krishna is not interested whether you are wearing saffron robe or white robe, you're wearing pant shirt, you're wearing sari kurta. It doesn't matter to Krishna. Krishna is not interested in our dress. Krishna is interested in our consciousness. That's why it is called Krishna consciousness. Right? So such a person is not interested in stone or gold. Our consciousness is so different, is it not? Just imagine now, I take a stone and Vinodji, I take a stone and I throw at you. What happens? You'll say, oh, Prabhuji, why are you hitting me with a stone? Isn't it? You will be disturbed. Prabhu is hitting me with a stone. But if I take a piece of gold, a gold biscuit, and then I throw at you, Vinodji, you will say, oh, Prabhuji, please throw more. I don't want one, you throw more, I will catch. You see, our situation is like that. But for a sadhu, Krishna is saying here that it really makes no difference for that person, because, you see, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable. You see, when a person gets to a point that he sees a stone and gold on an equal vision, that means you have transcended. That is so beautiful. Have we come to that point that I'm able to see gold and stone on an equal with an equal vision? That test is left to you. Krishna is saying. So beautiful, isn't it? So this is very important, very, very important. And it can be achieved. It is not that it is impossible. So, Vinodji, I just gave an example. So, I'm sure you are not so attached to gold. But at the same time, we should not actually also differentiate between stone and gold. It's, after all, lump of earth. It's so difficult to say that. Oh, Prabhuji, stone ko aise rasta mein mil jata hai, gold. It takes so much money to get that one little few grams of gold. A lot of difference is there. But for a sadhu, has no value. He has no value. It's equal value whether stone or gold. So we will come to that point of equal vision, right? So that is how it is. So when we come to that level of you know not being disturbed by the temporary upheavals, sometimes there are happiness and sometimes distress. Sadhu is not disturbed. I can take care of myself. He is very nicely self-situated. So when a person behaves like this, that is a symptom, and that is a way that he transcends. It's a very clear indication that he has transcended, right? So this is what Krishna has said in this particular, this set of verses. But Prabhupada explains further, and let's understand what is that in the next verse, and that is verse number 26. Dev, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the next verse number 26. Verse number 26 is Manchayo Vebhicharena. Yes, you can chant. Anyone of you, Vinod, you can also chant. Mam chayo vyabhicharena. Okay, let me unmute Dev once. Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, good. Okay. So, all right, then Hina Mataji, you can actually chant. Mam
माञ्चयोगे
chayo vyabhicharena.
विचारेण माञ्चयोगे विचारेण
Bhakti yogena sevate.
भक्तियोगेन सेव्यते
Sagunan samititaitan.
सगुणान् समीतेया
Brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
ब्रह्मभूताय कल्पते.
Ah, wonderful. So please read the translation.
One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
thank you, Vinodji. Thank you so much. Now, this is very interesting. Krishna is saying here, one who engages fully in the devotional service, fully, not half or full, he's saying fully in transcendental devotional service. So, this is actually the answering the third question of Arjuna. Arjuna had asked the third question that what is the process? So Krishna is now actually stating the process. In the previous verse, he explained the symptoms and the behavior, and now he's stating that the process is that one who engages fully in devotional service, then he can actually be out, comes out the spell of the modes of material nature. That is how it is. And that is bhakti yoga. And when you perform bhakti yoga, he's also saying that he will thus come to the level of Brahman. Brahman is one of the realization of God in one of the aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he understands that level of Brahman. He comes to know that, oh, I have I have an eternal life. So it's a very blissful, very, very powerful experience of joy. We cannot experience this in this material body when we are conditioned. But when we come out of these three modes, then we can ultimately experience this amazing, blissful situation that is being in Brahman. So, see, the God is omniscient and all omnipotent. He's all knowing, right? So, He is very powerful. To understand that powerful person, if we have to get in connect with Him, we have to engage in devotional service, His devotional service. And when we are fully engaged like that in the service of such expansions, avatars of the Lord and the Lord Himself, then this material nature has no effect on such a person. We cannot be influenced of these three modes of nature because Krishna is beyond the three modes. So, because he is beyond the three modes, he will take us outside these three modes. So, Vedic literature, Prabhupada is saying in the purport, Brahmaiva san Brahmapyeti. So, when somebody attains the supreme Brahman by becoming Brahman, so it means when you become Brahman means you become qualitatively one with the Lord. Quantitatively, God and us is very different. He is the ocean and we are just a drop. But the water in the ocean is salty, the drop of water from the ocean is also salty. Qualitatively, we are one with God. We are spiritual, He is spiritual, but He is very big. We are very small. We are Anu, but He is Vibhu. Right? So that is why qualitatively we will become one. But we are small particles. We are small particles. So we should know this. This is very powerful. So Krishna is saying we can come to that level of Brahman realization. Very important. So Bhakti Yoga is the process. Let's follow the Bhakti Yoga. and we are already following to some extent, we can continue to follow the Bhakti Yoga process, and then you will see amazing transformations happening in our heart. Our heart will become pure, so much so that Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas has no effect on us. And that's exactly what we want. The whole chapter is talking about how these in three modes are influencing us, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, and how to get out of these three modes. And Krishna is giving us the solution. We have the best mentor, we have the great mentor in the whole world, and that is Krishna. So we should take Bhagavad Gita very seriously, very, very seriously, so that we can lead a very happy life. Right? So let's chant the last verse of this chapter. So Dave, try to unmute and let's see if we can chant.
Yes.
And that's verse number 27. Brahmano hi pratishthaham
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम्
amritasya vyavasya cha
अमृतस्याव्यगस्य च
shashvatasya cha dharmasya
शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य
sukhasya cha.
सुखश्चैतान्तिकस्य च.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Hare Krishna.
Yes, exactly. So, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. So, Krishna is saying Aham is the foundation for the Brahman. So, the God realization can be done in three parts, in three ways. There is Brahman realization, then there is the Paramatma realization, and then there is Bhagwan realization. Bhagwan realization is the topmost. So, Brahman realization Krishna is offering. Once you get out of these three modes, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, the experience that you get is the of the Brahman realization. But when you engage in devotional service, seva, then you actually understand the Paramatma realization, the Paramatma within the heart. And then, when you are fully, without any, with unflinching faith, we are totally absorbed in devotional service, without any hankering, without any expectation for results. When you engage in devotional service of the Lord, when you have that prema bhakti, then you can realize the Bhagwan, the complete supreme personality of God, Krishna, can be realized when we actually completely surrender to Krishna in devotional service. So that is the crux of this whole thing. Our human life is meant to ultimately come to that point, to know that I am the eternal servant of Krishna and Krishna is my master. If this one thing gets strongly hit in our head, it should be nailed in our head that I am the servant of Krishna and now I want to serve Krishna eternally. This should be our mood. This should be our goal, that I want to be the servant of Krishna all the time. Very, very special. So there are some very interesting things that Krishna is going to explain in the upcoming verses. So we should prepare for all of that. 15th chapter in the next session, and there are some new things Krishna is going to say, right? And today is Sudarshan Jayanti, the Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Jayanti, we have a very wonderful festival in Abhishekam at 11:30. I will share the link with all of you. Those, if you are free, you can watch it online. So it's a very nice festival. Sudarshana is a very powerful personality. Sudarshana Mahajwala Koti Surya Samaprabha Ajnanandasya Me Nityam Vishnur Margam Pradarshya. So today is Sudarshan Jayanti, Sudarshan Chakra Jayanti. So Sudarshana is one who actually destroys all the unwanted disturbances that come in our life, and also Ajnanandasya Me Nityam. He actually takes out all the ajnana that is there within our heart. So Sudarshana, we should pray. He's Koti Surya Samaprabha. He is amazing personality. He's a blazing personality, and he is always ready to protect his devotees. So let us all pray to Sudarshana today that he protects all of us in our devotional service, in every action that we do, in the path of dharma that we are going. There will be a lot of obstacles, but if we pray to Sudarshana, Sudarshana will take out all those obstacles in the path of devotion. So we should pray to him today, and let's pray that we will continue in a nice way understanding Bhagavad Gita in the future also. Right? And I know that we have a little discussion pending on the Mayapur Yatra. All of you are already excited. So we will discuss more about the Mayapur Yatra. December 20 to 25th is going to be a wonderful time for all of us in Mayapur. So get ready for Mayapur. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.